You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we got breaking news in here. We knew something fishy was going on involving the Cincinnati Bengals earlier. There have been a lot of rumors. We know Joe Burrow's been out. Jake Browning has been playing. It hasn't gone nearly as well as it once did prior involving Jake Browning. In fact, I need to bring up PFF grades before we just jump super into this. But they released Mike White. And number one, I was thinking, Mike White was on the roster and you wasn't playing him? Really? Oh boy, y'all forget about the legend of Mike White, didn't you? You forgot about that guy. So we know T. Higgins and Jamar Chase exist. Okay, with the Bengals, immediately right there, you would think, okay, quarterback, throw to those guys and not the other guys, not the other team. Jake Browning said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm throwing to everybody. Well, guess what? Joe Flacco is now, here we go, right here. Bengals are trading for quarterback Joe Flacco. That is per Ian Rappaport, per Tom Pelissero. I mean, wow. Number one, how many teams has Joe Flacco been on? 72 teams now? Seriously? Joe Flacco was the starter of the Browns just 2 weeks ago. Dylan Gabriel had his first start this past weekend in London. Let's just take a look. This is PFF's grades right here. Joe Flacco is currently ranked as the 30th best quarterback in the National Football League out of 37 possibles. I still don't understand. What are you doing, PFF? There is no world where Aaron Rodgers is the worst quarterback in the league right now. He's literally played like a top 12 quarterback this year. Borderline top 10 quarterback? What are you doing? I don't know, but there's Jake Browning right there. Number 36, Jake Browning. So you just upgraded 6 good spots on your quarterback. Look, they're trying to keep their heads above water. You got Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow exists to the Cincinnati Bengals, which means you've only got so many years of trying to make it to the playoffs and trying to win a Super Bowl. And I think you got even less years than that, because if you keep effing with Joe Burrow and acting like you're cheap and all this is ownership, Joe Burrow is going to pull a Carson Palmer. You can already tell he's aggravated. All right, so this happens, and I know Browns fans are like, oh, and maybe not Browns fans, Shedeur Sanders fans. And I think this is interesting because it does not say Shedeur Sanders is QB2. I know a lot of people are going to assume it. It does not say that yet. After trading Joe Flacco, I almost said Joe Burrow, Joe Flacco to the Bengals, Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders are the 2 QBs remaining on the Browns roster. Bailey Zappi is on Cleveland's practice squad. And I just thought about something. They're not the only Cleveland quarterbacks. Last week, Deshaun Watson, they could have brought him off, I believe it was PUP. And I said in October, you watch out for Deshaun Watson raising up out of his grave like Hannibal Lecter. That's more accurate than people want to admit. Like Hannibal Lecter wearing the mask in his chair strapped down. Deshaun Watson, I wonder if they're about to activate Deshaun Watson. You have to watch for that. There's a world, and my God, the chaos I'm going to say this out loud. There is a world where Dylan Gabriel could be the starter, Deshaun Watson could be the backup, and Shedeur Sanders is still QB3. That world could exist. Oh my God. The fallout around that would be on a whole nother. Shedeur Sanders fan base would literally explode. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins seeing the Bengals trade for Joe Flacco instead of Jameis Winston. And every, yeah. Just, no. Oh, no, not that. A lot of people, that was what was trending this morning, was when Mike White got walking papers, Jameis Winston went to trending. No Jameis Winston, no Russell Wilson. Bengals explaining why they chose Joe Flacco over Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. One's got to wonder, right before I decided to shoot this, because this is breaking news, I was about to do a Raiders video. I'm glad I just thought about this, because I can talk about it there too. One's got to wonder, would Pete Carroll actually want to reunite with Russell Wilson? Because Geno struggled bad. Geno has struggled real bad. Here we go right here. Flacco and a 6th-round pick to the Bengals for a 5th-round pick. All right. So it's kind of I can't call a winner there. That's sort of a break-even situation. That's almost like a nod. Let's help Joe Flacco out. Get him off the team. We think he might be able to start. Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco. Joe Flacco, throw it to Chase and Higgins. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's right here.
Oh, you know the vibes.
Yeah.
I even know.
Word. Here he comes.
You know the vibes of Whoop Team.
What are we doing? Okay, FanDuel. That's FanDuel. Bengals going from Jake Browning to Joe Flacco. Look, there is not a world. This is hilarious, where Joe Flacco is not more well-respected. We're talking about a Super Bowl MVP. We're talking about a quarterback that just went to the playoffs 2 years ago. Put some respect, rub some respect on Joe Flacco's name. We're dead ass going to lose to Joe Flacco twice in the same season. Guess what? Packer fan. Because the Bengals got to play the Packers. It's coming. Oh.
There's a breaking news in the AFC North.
What?
The Bengals,
Oh, no.
after getting their asses absolutely smacked the last couple weeks without Joe without Joe Burrow, are trading for the other Joe Cool.
Oh, no.
Joe Flacco. Rap Sheet and Tom Pelissero were on it. They go from Cool Joe to the coolest Joe. They go from Burrow with an EAU-X to Flacco with a John accent.
Okay. Whatever, Pat. Yikes. Most interceptions this season. Geno, Flacco, Jake Browning. Oh, God, Pete Carroll's in hell right now. And again, like I said, I've got a video coming up on this. Wow. Oh, Cleveland radio.
The Browns have completed a trade. They are sending Joe Flacco, backup quarterback, to the Cincinnati Bengals. You think they need a quarterback? They certainly do. Joe Flacco and a 6th-round pick going to the Bengals for a 5th-round pick. Jake, wow.
And now, for the Browns, you know what that means? Riz has got to be fired up. Shedeur Sanders.
That's exactly where I was going to go. They are now with Dylan Gabriel as the starter. Shedeur is going to be the backup by default at this point in time. We've only seen one game of Dylan Gabriel, and they're already moving off of Joe Flacco for sense of security from what they saw from Dylan Gabriel this past weekend.
Well, there's no reason to go back to Joe Flacco at this point if you're the Browns, because listen, you weren't moving the ball when you had him. You were turning the ball over like crazy. He, for whatever reason, is not a good fit in the Stefanski offense anymore because he can't move at all. And if they were going to change quarterbacks again, it was going to be to Shedeur. It wasn't going to be back to Flacco.
Yeah.
Okay. This goes back to what I said, though. When Joe Flacco led the playoff run a couple of years ago, Joe Flacco was tearing it up with a healthy Amari Cooper. Browns don't have that kind of weapon now. I'm sorry, Jerry Jeudy. No. Jerry Judy's the number 2. There, I said it. It's out loud. Joe Flacco's going to 2 potential number 1 wide receivers. Joe Flacco, in theory, could tear the shit up. He's still got a monster arm. He gonna throw some interceptions, but he's still got a cannon. And now, like 2 years ago, he's got 2 real dudes. He's got one, and he only needed one back then. He had Njoku, which he still had now, and then he had Amari Cooper, who was healthy and still playing like a number 1. You got a much younger, spry Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. This is about to be. Is Joe Flacco about to win the comeback player of the year again? I just watched Tropic Thunder. Scorcher. 6. Was it freeze dried? Whatever. It was iceberg. Something. Ice Age. Who knows? Tell me what you think. Joe Flacco saving the Bengals' asses. Shedeur Sanders is the backup. Maybe. Deshaun Watson. Can you imagine? Man, I might go live. If they activate Deshaun Watson and we find out Shedeur Sanders is still QB3. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.